Welcome to the classroom. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
In the previous video, we spoke about how households own the factors of production, how businesses buy these factors of production and use them to create goods and services, which in turn are bought by households. It's a relationship of input, production or processing, and outputs. Before we delve deeper into the classification of markets, I want to quickly talk about labor markets, the raw materials market, and financial markets. The labor market is a place where workers offer their services so that they may earn salaries or wages. If you have seen people standing on street corners with a sign stating that they will paint, cut trees, or offer any service, that is a labor market. Some of the most formal or common labor markets are career seeker websites. It is sang that certain things in life should be free. However, this is business. Where there is a need, there is money to be made. Raw materials include anything which can be found in the ground, above the ground, and perhaps beyond. Examples of these may include water, the flora and the fauna, minerals such as coal, gold, and others. Then, there is the gold standard, financial markets.
Financial market is a broad term used to describe any forum where buyers and sellers meet to trade assets, usually financial securities such as stocks, bonds, currencies, options, and derivatives. Financial markets are a cornerstone of a capitalistic economy because they help facilitate capital formation and liquidity for entrepreneurs and businesses. Financial markets create liquidity by making it easy for buyers and sellers to trade their financial holdings. Without the infrastructure of a market, sellers would have to seek individual buyers using less efficient methods such as classified ads, much in the same way someone sells a used car. In addition, the centralized location provides transparency for price and availability and better subjects the securities to market forces of supply and demand. This in turn assures buyers and sellers of a fairer price than they might otherwise receive in a single private transaction. Because they are subject to supply and demand forces, financial markets sometimes experience wide volatility due to variables such as the unemployment rate, gross domestic product, and housing prices. In the 20th century and before, financial markets were central locations where traders met and made trades in face-to-face transactions. The New York Stock Exchange is one of the oldest and most famous financial markets in the world that still has face-to-face trading. Other financial markets like the NASDAQ lack a physical trading location. Instead, trades are facilitated via an electronic system.
Markets may be classified according to 4 different criteria: legal versus illegal markets, the place in which markets are situated in, the time frame for which a market is open, and the competition which the market will face. It is good for a country to have a majority of businesses to operate in a legal space. When a country has successful businesses, it may have more money come towards it through taxes. And with these taxes, the lives of everybody in the country may become a little bit more better. Do keep in mind, however, that not all businesses who do not pay taxes are illegal. There are certain laws that do allow for businesses to not pay taxes. That leads me to my question. What do you think would make a business illegal? Markets may be categorized according to the place in which they are based in, or where the business operates. It may be a combination of the following or these factors individually: local, such as the area around you; A national market, meaning that it only operates in your country. An international market, meaning that the business operates all across the world. A virtual market, which means that the market only exists online. Which businesses do you know of which operate in all of these markets? Time will talk about how long a market has existed or plans to stay in operation. Some businesses may only be in operation for a short period of time, such as a week, a day, or maybe less. Some businesses may be in operation for the medium term, which could be any period between 1 to 5 years. There are many varying reasons why certain businesses may stay open for this time frame. Then there is the Magna Carta, businesses which have been operating for the long term. Businesses which survive their first 5 years have a better chance of surviving for a longer time. There are other businesses which have even outlived their founders. Competition talks about how many businesses may exist in a certain industry. Too many businesses in a similar industry isn't the best for the people competing. It'll mean far less profits for everybody involved.
In perfect competition, no single firm controls prices. There are no barriers to entry or exit. All firms sell the same products and services. They all have the same industry knowledge, and there's a large number of suppliers and buyers. If any of these conditions are absent, it's an imperfect competition. Imperfect competition appears in several different forms. In monopolies, only one seller exists. For example, a drug company offering a medicine that has no substitute. In an oligopoly, there are many buyers, but only a few sellers. Smartphones and other high-tech industries are examples of oligopolies. Monopolistic competition exists when many sellers offer similar products from many buyers. Fast food restaurants feature monopolistic competition by creating similar products that are not perfect substitutes. In a monopsony, there are many sellers of a product, but only one buyer. The U.S. defense industry is a monopsony. Many firms create products that they try to sell to the U.S. military. An oligopsony has only a few large buyers for a product. The tobacco industry exemplifies an oligopsony. A handful of large cigarette companies buy almost the entire annual tobacco crop. Realistically, perfect competition is only a theory because every industry has some form of imperfect competition. Markets are valued by how they compare to and try to approach perfect competition.
Thank you for joining us in part 2. Please subscribe, share, and like, and don't forget to turn on our post notifications.
Our story begins when Miss Pink decides to buy a box of yum-yum peas for the modest sum of €1.49. Miss Pink really does love yum-yum peas. What she doesn't realize is that with this small, seemingly insignificant action, she has set a complex and mysterious mechanism in motion, which experts call the circular flow. In 3 minutes, you will know everything, or almost everything, about this circular flow. Let's go back to Miss Pink as she reaches the checkout. Here we are at the spending stage. As soon as the money leaves Miss Pink's purse, her €1.49 shoots over to the Yum Yum Company. This is where production, the next stage of the circular flow, takes place. Mrs. Violet, the head accountant, is delighted to receive Miss Pink's €1.49. It's the 2073rd box bought today. Business is going well. And as it's the last day of the month, Mrs. Violet will pay all the company's employees their salaries. And that, my friends, is nothing less than income. the third stage of the circular flow. Let's take Mr. Blue, for example, who works in the packaging department. Mr. Blue can't wait to collect his earnings and spend them on holidays. His paycheck in hand, he runs off to buy a ticket to Egypt for €359. So now we find ourselves back at the spending stage. But while Mr. Blue flies off towards the land of Tutankhamun, we embark on another journey. With his money, which moves around in the circular flow, repeating the same stages again and again. Spending, production, income. Whatever we do, we just can't escape them. Spending, production, income, and so on, and so on. For example, Mr. Blue's €359 land in the coffers of the ZWA Travel Company. But watch out! Since the company has already paid all its bills and is making a profit, it decides to distribute dividends to its shareholders. To Mrs. Beige, for example, who heads straight to the spending stage. Mrs. Beige could treat herself to a new hat or some swimming lessons or life insurance, except Mrs. Beige has decided to buy an apartment. She will pay for it with her savings, but also with the help of a loan. The loan is a service provided to Mrs. Beige by her bank, which she will pay for through interest payments. This means there is spending by Mrs. Beige and production by the bank. Let's fast forward a bit to see what will happen to the first payment from Mrs. Beige. Let's see. Now it's reached the bank, who has decided to invest it. That's how Mr. Lavender in the IT department can order a batch of the very latest computers from Top PC 2000. Well, now you're beginning to understand how it all works. What is Top PC 2000 going to do with this money? Pay salaries? Pay dividends? Build a new factory? Nope. Top PC 2000, like everyone else, has to pay its taxes. And with the taxes it receives, the state does exactly the same as everyone else. It spends. For example, it builds a school and employs a teacher, Mr. Plum, who will produce a public service, education, in exchange for a salary, which allows him to invite Mrs. Plum for dinner at a local restaurant, Gino's, which will invest in a new frying pan, which will pay Mr. Ochre, who gets his hair cut at Rock Style, whose owner will buy a blue scooter in Miss Pink's shop. And, yes, she's the very same person who bought the peas earlier. Every minute, a great deal of spending combines with a whole load of production, triggering an influx of income, which leads to even more spending. And all these thousands of strings that overlap each other again and again, day after day, go together to make the circular flow. Enjoy your peas, Miss Pink.